Hello, good morning, good evening throughout the globe, and good afternoon might be. I'm Rizwan Akram here, and as usual, you are watching Connecting the World. So, as every day in Connecting World, we have some key guests throughout the globe that are impacting the peoples, that are changing the lives of the hundreds and thousands of people around the globe, to making them happy, to making them inspiration, to making them learn. So today I have a very special guest from my neighborhood, and due to current situation, we are coming close together. So it's Eugina Liberty. Eugina, welcome to Connecting the World.
Hi, and thank you so much for welcoming me in your show. It's an honor to be here. And actually, as you've been talking, I just could feel like this warmth of, emotions and a little bit of nervousness coming over me. So, yeah, I'm super excited to be here and have this conversation with you. Thank you.
Eugina, I hope you can hear me.
Oh, I can hear you. Yes. Can you hear me? Oh, I'm not really sure what is happening, but maybe it will come back. Rizwan, I cannot see you. My friend says if there is an event without a technical glitch, it's not an event.
Eugina, Eugina, let's talk about yourself first. That would you like to share about yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you. My name is Eugina O Liberty, and I'm an international pleasure and intimacy coach. I help people from around the world to start dating with confidence by unleashing their true desires and creating more love, more pleasure, and more intimacy in their life. And by that, I mean we all are human, no matter where we come from, no matter of our social status, no matter what we do in life, we all want love. And some of us are very, very scared of love, even though that this is the very thing we want in our life. So I support people to remove the barriers that get in the way of expressing love and receiving love, and actually find the ways that feel good and feel true for people to be able to connect with other people in a heart-based way. And originally, I come from Latvia, from a Russian family. I moved to London when I was 14 years ago, when I was 20 years old. And now, since last year, I've been living in Bali. I came here for 6 weeks holidays, and I never went back to London. So now I'm here. It's actually quite an exciting journey for me, because I teach people to unleash their true desires. And as I do that, I'm unleashing my own true desires, which is super exciting and super adventurous, I would say. Oh, I'm not sure if you heard that, because I could see that your picture have disappeared for a couple of moments.
Eugenia, would you like to tell me what is intimacy?
Sure. Well, there are a different
I
aspects of
was hearing
intimacy.
you. I can hear you. I can listen you now.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yes, sure. intimacy, there are different aspects to intimacy. There is emotional intimacy, which is being close by our emotions. So lots of people like to describe this as into me you see. So this means is like I open my heart, I open my soul to connect with another human being on emotional level. There is another way, there is another type of intimacy, which is physical intimacy, where people connect with one another in like with their body. It's like, love making. There is a mental intimacy where people are working, towards the same goal, let's say, where they have got the same vision and they get close together and they share that mental intimacy. And there is also spiritual intimacy, where people share the same spiritual values, like let's say religion, or being close to God, and that is also the intimacy. So there are all these different aspects of intimacy that is there. And very often, I find that people are looking for, for love and things like that, but they have got like some reservations of expressing themselves and expressing their values, expressing what is really and truly important to people. And what happens that and that happened to myself in the past, that we meet people and we think, oh yeah, I'm in love, but then we forget to actually ask and question those people about their values in life, their values in relationships, and share what is important to us, because we like maybe scared very often that other people will not accept that. I remember myself that in the past I was very scared to share with my partner at the time that actually what I wanted, it was a family, because I thought is like that I will appear to be needy, I will appear to be demanding, or like and I had this persona independent woman, and it's like I can do this by myself. And because I discovered now that learning psychology, that most people, they are so busy with trying to look good and avoid looking bad.
Uh-huh.
And me myself, I have been very, very caught up in that situation. And I can see like how many people are actually also caught up in this situation, where we want to put out to other people, it's like, yeah, that's no problem, I got this, and yes, I don't need you, and I'm strong. But actually inside we are suffering, because we feel misunderstood, we feel not heard very often, we feel even left and not important. And in my work, what I do, I help people express themselves, I help people to understand themselves, so that they learn how to express themselves. What do they really need? What do they really desire? What do really happens in their soul, so they can connect with other people authentically, so they can leave all this pretentiousness of looking good on the side, and actually connect and say, it's like, hi, so this is me, these are my passions, these are my aspirations in life, and this is what I want from my life, this is what I want from my relationships. And if you on the same page with me, I would love to get to know you more, and do it from the place of love, not being scared of that.
Eugenia, would you like to share about the people, like if the people are far off from the world, how you keep counseling them that if these things are related to emotional and somehow can be counseling, so how you manage the people around the world?
You know, it's a great question because, like, lots of people think that this kind of work is, old-fashioned way when you come into psychologist's office and you lay down on the chair.
And there is a stretcher like bed,
Say
and
that
there is a
again.
wall that is
Yeah, yeah,
hanging in front of you.
yeah, 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 yeah. And there is like
Are you
hypnosis, like,
sleeping? Are you sleeping? And you are sleeping.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me count till 10 and switch off. No, it's not like that. Um, it's actually the way I work with people. The way I work with people is actually, blows me away because I'm able to connect with people from all over the world. Like right now, I'm in Bali, in Asia, in Indonesia, and I work with people from America, from Saudi Arabia, from UK, from Pakistan, from India, from Africa, you name it, from Europe, and it's like mind blowing actually that technology in our days is actually so generous to us that we can connect with people from around the world, like you in Pakistan right now. I'm in Bali, and we are sitting here and having this beautiful conversation. And we are able to share this conversation with people from everywhere in the world. And it's like, it's mind blowing. So in my work, actually, this is very similar, apart from it's absolutely private and this conversation is only, between me and my client, because absolute confidentiality is, it's my biggest value in my work, because people share with me things that they have never ever shared with anyone in their life. And this makes it super special. Oh, I don't know if you can hear me because the your screen is a little bit frozen, but I hope it works. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see me or hear me and what is going on. I can see that on computer this live is also on pause. I can see that there is a comment with you. Oh, okay, this is great. So I'm not sure if I should just keep talking or not. Um, it's super interesting what is happening, because I believe that everything always happens for a reason, and there's definitely a reason, behind this technical difficulties. Oh, Hello, hello. Hi, Rizwan. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can listen you properly. I was
Uh,
asking you about the question. Please leave the comments over there. I have asked you a question.
all right. Oh, let me just see. Okay, so what issue people have in a relationship? Okay, yeah, I can see this. Mhm. Right. So in relationship, one of the biggest challenges that people are facing, that they feel disconnected. They feel that usually one part feels misunderstood and another part feels that that they've been suffocated. So usually one part wants more and the other part feels like, oh my god, this person wants so much, and they like keep on they keep on attacking me and like pressurizing me, and the other one feels like, oh my god, but I never have your attention. And it's like, so it's like kind of, you know uh, what what happens that resentment happens. So it's like usually one is resenting another one for not giving enough attention, and another one is resenting the other one for not for wanting too much, or it's like feeling like invasion of space in a way. So I would say that this is one of the most common scenarios that actually get in the way that gets in the way of truly connective relationship. And usually there is a very simple solution to that, and that simple solution, it's simple but it's not easy for many. Okay. And that solution is communication. It's like very often people assume that the other person knows what we want. And it's like usually women, it's like, oh yeah, but I want this thing and he should know that I want this thing. He should give it to me. But in fact, he has no idea that she wants that thing. And it's like, and what happens that she get upset because she doesn't get what she wants. He gets upset because she's upset and doesn't know what she wants. And it's like in the end nobody's happy. And what happens is people start like, they don't talk about it very often, and they start separating. So the separation happens, there more and more resentment happens, and it's like more and more you focus on the thing that is not going well, the thing that is not good, and more you just keep further and further away from each other. So very simple
Eugenia, when
solution
you
is
are talking
actually
about the relationship, you need to talk with the both people. So how you can counsel one person and you can make it fine, or you can solve the issue?
you know because in a relationship people respond to one another. In a relationship people respond to one another, and I strongly believe that men respond to women, and I have a lot of proof of that. So like whatever a woman gonna think, men gonna do or say. It's like there is like plenty of times what was happening that I would think something, and like even I'm with my male friends and he would say that, or he would do that, so this is a very very important aspect, that the person who is ready to change something, that because what happens very often that we don't get what we want, but we settle. It's like, okay, but this is okay, we okay, and we keep quiet until we cannot hold anymore. And then, you know, one person doesn't wash the dishes, and then the other person blows up, is like, oh my god, you know, you didn't wash the dishes. You're such a bad husband, or you're such a bad wife, you know. And it's like, oh my god. And in the whole reality, it's nothing about the dishes, but it's everything what has happened before washing the dishes. It's like every single time when you know, where he or she didn't pay attention to what you said, or when he or she didn't acknowledge your effort when you like prepared a nice dinner or created like a nice time to go out, you know, or that there is something that, and like what we do, we don't say those things at the time, and we keep bottling this up, keep bottling this up, keep bottling this up until our limit is full. And then it's like a big emotional explosion, and it's like a big argument where everything comes out usually, and very often not in a nice way, that we can say very hurtful things that we actually don't mean. But you know, when you speak something that the words, you cannot take the word back, you know. It's like what happens is like when you speak, you cannot like unspeak that anymore. So when I work with my clients, like for example, I work with men and women, and both of them, like, and men and women come with me because they usually want to have more love, whether they're in relationship or not in relationship. So like, let's say I work with people who are in relationship, and let's say a woman would come to me and she would say, oh my god, he doesn't understand me. You know, I had a client that she was like, okay, I already filed for a divorce once, but now I've decided, we've been 20 years together, now is the last chance. You know, I really think that I really want to make this work. This is the last chance. He doesn't understand me, he doesn't understand my needs. And when we actually get deeper into that, it's like, hey, but how often do you actually say what you really want? And she was like, well, but you know, not that often, because I'm scared, you know, if I'm gonna say what I want, that he gonna think that I'm too demanding, that he gonna think that, you know, I am, you know, high maintenance. It's like whatever. So it's like that fear of judgment, that guilt, you know, that pressure of being somebody that she's not, when all she wants to be a great wife, she wants to be a great woman, she wants to, you know, to be a great lover, to be a great partner, you know, she wants to be a role model to her children. But because all of those fears, she's got scared to express herself fully. And I think that this is the part that we are taught as children very often, that is like, you can't speak up, because, you know, children should be like, there is this saying that children should be seen but not heard. And that stays with so many people, that we can't express ourselves. You know, that something happens, like, because we form our core beliefs as children, and something happens and we cannot express ourselves, we decide that we are unlovable and something is wrong with us and we are not worthy. And we take all of those beliefs with us into our adulthood. I work with men who want love, who want to create a family, but because of their belief system, you know, where they learned as children, and they learn that, you know, women don't enjoy physical intimacy because it's a chore, for example, you know, and it's like very big in religious teachings that it's a sin, that this is something bad, that this is something shameful. And when the man approaches a woman and he's scared to talk to her because all he thinks that if he gonna speak, he gonna offend her and hurt her, you know. And it's like, and all he wants is to have a family and make a woman of his dreams happy. But like all what happens like in his heart is like, oh my god, if I gonna speak and tell her what I want, I'm gonna hurt her. And those are very conflicting beliefs that actually stop people from their happiness. And what happens, it's not obvious, but it takes people to actually acknowledge what is happening beyond, you know, what is obvious in a blind spot, so they can resolve that. And this is what I help people with. I help people to resolve what is not obvious so that they can create the life of their dreams and be happy.
Eugenia, at which point you come to know that you can counsel us, the people, you can guide them? Which point you feel it?
Mm. You know, it's such a great question, but once upon a time, I needed my own help. You know, once upon a time, I was feeling that all I want is love, but all of my relationships, they somehow have been the same. And what happened was, there was always this feeling, I had this belief in me that all men want to hurt me, and all I was creating more of that, you know, because what I focus on expands. So I was focusing. I remember this day when I have met a guy and I really liked him, and we went for a nice lunch. And I remember we were saying our goodbyes to each other. And I remember I was standing there and thinking to myself, oh my God, I wonder how are you going to hurt me now? And, you know, and sure thing that he did hurt me. And then I started paying attention to my feelings, and that in every time when I liked somebody, I had this special feeling that, you know, something bad about to happen. That, and then I could trace it down when that happened for the first time. And for the first time, it happened when I was 13 years old. That I really liked a guy, and you know, and he was offering to take me like home. You know, it was dark uh, in the winter, and he was like going to walk me home. But then I had this feeling that something's bad is about to happen, and sure thing it did. You know, he pulled out the key from his pocket, and he said to me, "Oh, Eugenia, so this is what I have." And I was like, oh, what is that? I knew inside of me, like in my heart, I knew what he was meaning, but I was like just, you know, making sure. And he was like, well, this is the key, you know, to my friend's house. His family is away on holidays, and he gave me the key so we can be together. And I was like, I can't do this, you know, I can't do this. And what happened was he was like, well, he pulled out this little note that somebody wrote to him in school. And that note said, it's like, you know, Eugenia, this girl that you are seeing, she's a bad girl. She's like playing around with other guys in the school and things like that. And that note was anonymous, but it was like completely untrue, because I liking that guy. I was liking that guy so much. So I was completely in love with him. And what happened was, like, you know, my heart just dropped in that moment, like really dropped. And I was feeling like betrayal, and I felt like, you know, that I cannot trust the guys anymore. So it's like the guys want to hurt me. And like, sure thing that I asked him, it's like, do you believe what is written in this note? And he said to me, well, is this true? And I said, well, of course it's not true. And he's like, well, I believe what this says. And, you know, in that moment, I was just like, okay, like I felt like my life is over before even starting. And I was only 13 in that moment. And, you know, like as a child, you take everything so personally, you take everything so, like, your emotions are so pure that you are so like, you feel so much, you know, there is no barriers in yourself anymore. So your heart is so open. And that just like stabbed me right in the heart. And, you know, I've been going through very hard times, and like I kept on recreating those kind of scenarios in my life all the way. And I grew up in the family where my parents were alcoholics, and they were like fighting all the time. And they like, so my father actually was hurting me very early in my life, you know, not intentionally, but he was hurting me because Shadow, sorry, my dog is barking. Not intentionally, but because he was hurting himself. And you know, and all I could see, it's like that man hurting women. And that kept on showing up in my life, and I got married at some point. I got married at 20 years old. And, you know, it's like the craziest thing. I married the guy who was exactly like my father. Even when he was laughing with my father's voice, you know, and it was like, oh my God, is this really happening? Yeah, so it was like bizarre. And when I have realized all of those things, that all of my relationships look somewhat the same, I was like, okay, I have got a choice now. You know, either I do something about it, because in my heart, all I want is love. All I want is, you know, to be close to people, like, but in a way that it doesn't hurt me. So, and it's like, and saying that, I mean also friends, because, you know, being with friends, I felt like I cannot trust anybody. I felt like very isolated. I felt like people always like doing something behind my back, you know. And it's such an exhausting feeling, that always having my vigilance up, and always thinking is like, is somebody going to hurt me now? Is somebody going to hurt me now? So that was just like exhausting. And more than anything, I was completely broke. You know, so not only like I was mentally exhausted, but I was also broke, not knowing how to live my life. So there was a sure thing, I had to do something about it. And when I started like looking more and more into why is this happening, like questioning things, because my curiosity, I think, got me to this point where I am today, that I am, you know, I'm questioning things. I'm finding what works and what doesn't. I'm trusting my intuition. And this is what I teach other people to do. I teach people to trust their intuition. I teach people to trust their inner guidance, inner wisdom, because I know that sometimes it's very unreasonable, but it makes sense. Does this make sense?
Eugenia, thank you so much. You have given me a plenty of time. It was really nice talking to you. And it was really nice talking to you. And I'm hoping that every person will meet you will make his life more happy and happier as well as you are smiling as the time. All the people around the globe will keep smiling and keep their relationship healthy, active, and happily. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
nice
you.
talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for inviting me to be part of your global movement. I really appreciate that.
Have a very good day.
Lots of love now.
So sweet. I wish, yeah, you must come more and more so people may be happy by looking at you more and more time.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm really, admire this movement that you're creating in the world, bringing people together from different backgrounds, from different cultures. It's really, really important that we get to know each other more, because in the end of the day, the one thing that keeps us all connected is love, because all of us want love. So I wish all the viewers more